Oxford on the AutoPen thing because I'm not an AutoPen guy, as you see. I'm not sure I ever used an AutoPen, but I signed my name a lot each day. People like the signature too. It's a good signature, I guess, but people like it. But I heard stories where generals being promoted to a 4-star general, and he's standing proudly in front of the president, and the president takes the papers and hands them to his people, and they go into a room. They come back 15 minutes later. It's signed by an AutoPen. And they move the general over. He stands in the back of the room in the Oval Office for 20 minutes with his family. Well, they send it out to be signed by an AutoPen many times. But what happens is Biden will always say, I gave authorization, because if he gave authorization. So he's always going to say that because, he'll lie. He won't even know what the question is, but they'll get him to say that, right? So once he authorizes. So the real question is, do you have to have it authorized in writing?
Right.
And the answer is probably so. So because he didn't do it in writing in any event. Okay. So I would
challenge it. I would challenge it.
Yeah,
and one other thing.
We're looking at it.
All right. And by the way, the other issue to challenge it is.
By the way, if that's the case, there are things bigger than Fauci that you could challenge.
Right.
You understand that?
Yes, I do understand that.
Because he signed almost everything by AutoPen except one. You know what the one was? Hunter Biden's pardon.
Hunter Biden. There you go.
Hunter Biden has an absolute pardon. Because
and by the way, don't you think
a pardon is the most powerful thing that a president has? I mean, it can't be challenged, and it's good. It's a good thing. But when you sign by AutoPen and you haven't authorized it, it's probably not legal. So he will say he authorized it, and then did he authorize it in writing? And I doubt it.
And I think there's a second legal ground to attack the pardon on, because Fauci was not charged with a crime.
On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Yes, so many things going on with this pardon, with the AutoPen, with everything. In fact, there's even a story, I didn't pull it in today, but there's a story even talking about how Ukraine, there's a forward position that's actually threatening to abandon post to their commander. So they've got problems that are happening all over the place. The deep state is losing. There's no money. They can't afford to keep pushing in the directions they're going, and they are having a very tough time. Now, we do still have a lot of liberal judges that are screwing things up here in the States. These things are being resolved slowly but surely, and we are moving in that direction. Obviously, big questions about the Save America Act and everything under the sun. Still curious if they're going to try to sneak that one through. That would be super cool if they did, but never any guarantees in this wonderful world that we're living in right now, that's for sure. So far, we're looking at 132 plus killed in the Columbia earthquake. I'm sure it's higher than this now. It was 111, the first story, which I thought was interesting. That number keeps popping up lately. There's another story I saw where 111 popped up. So again, I think it was 111 countries that China has messed with the elections on. Very interesting. Typically 111, I don't know if there's some other meaning outside of it, but from the numerology standpoint, ones kind of usually implies, hey, look at your thoughts are creating stuff, or in a lot of cases, it's really one of the first key signs that catch people's attention, the universe talking back to us. 1111 is one of the most common signs that people get. Another one's 1234, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a fun one too. It's also shows a counting up. So again, a lot of interesting things are happening, and I think a lot of people are starting to see this. All said, horrific stuff going on in Colombia. It's very sad. We had a lady that is pleading for Elon Musk to help with some Starlink stuff. Check it out.
I am asking Elon Musk to please activate Starlink in Colombia. We just had one of the most devastating earthquakes in history. Buildings have collapsed, power lines are down, and this is a time where we all need to come together to help those that are fighting for their lives. Elon, you're actually the only billionaire that does something when disaster strikes. So thank you, God bless you, and I'll see you soon, my friend.
I'm betting they're not going to have to change that clock for daylight savings.
Vea cómo quedó eso todo, Pereira.
There's got to be way more than 132 people dead. I mean, it's just unreal. So again, they're going to be digging people out of the rubble for a while. It's very, very sad. Again, typhoons. Japan got hit badly. Apparently, China is insane. I know the Philippines right now are literally flooding. Like crazy amounts of water are being dumped over in this part of the world. This probably does tie into the El Nino effect. This is kind of where we would expect to see a lot of this stuff, though this does seem extreme, and it makes us wonder what's going to be coming for us in the late fall, early winter. Typhoon Dolphy leaves home in China nearly submerged. This is a first ground floor unit, okay? This is a window on the ground floor, at least to my understanding. It is completely submerged. See if you can see that. You see the water at the top of the window? This dude's inside. I would not feel very comfortable. How is your house that waterproof? It should be leaking in from somewhere? Is it just me or is that insane? Wow. I'm guessing that's not normal, right? Probably not. Insane what's going on right now. And again, do I think it's global warming? No. I think there's something going on with the sun and our magnetic field. It's definitely happening. It's causing a lot of other things that would happen too when they say the magnetic field starts to weaken. Animals start to get weird. Migration patterns start to change. And there's people that have already talked about how, like, the geese, for example, aren't going exactly back to where they used to. They're starting to seem to be moving. The pole's supposed to be moving towards Russia. So we're seeing all sorts of crazy stuff. Now, here's the thumbnail that's got everybody talking, and it's kind of funny, frankly. And it's legit. Trump snuck off Air Force One in a catering truck. So to kind of give the skinny, essentially what happened, like this catering truck here, Trump walked up the normal stairs, waved at everybody, got on Air Force One, immediately disembarked into the catering truck. They eventually lowered him down, drove the catering truck over to another Air Force C-32A, and then raised it up, shoved it up next to the plane, and Trump walked onto that plane. Nobody, well, with very few exceptions, nobody knew that Trump did it. All the press was on the original Air Force One. All of them were on that plane. None of them knew where Trump was, and they didn't find out until Trump finally landed. He landed before the other Air Force One. It's not Air Force One if he's not on it, but whatever. We're calling it that plane, right? He got there first on his C-32. He got into the catering truck again, I think, and they brought it up and somehow got him into the original plane that he was supposed to be in, and then had him deplane on that. Nobody knew it happened. He even came in and talked to the press, but nobody knew until way later. They figured it out. And the rumor is they did this because of a credible threat from Iran. So they had a decoy, and they were going to blow up all the press, which is really funny if you think about it, right? They didn't take out Trump, but they ended up taking out all the deep state media in one fell swoop. Would have been horrific. Here is, I think, them talking about it, or Trump talking about it. Here's them talking about it.
Candidly, this was a surreal story to cover. The initial discussions, the initial tip, and then looking into it, I kept finding myself saying, what am I missing? Is this true?
President Trump was seen boarding Air Force One at 8:24 p.m. local time on July 8th. But actually, according to the Post, and you can see here, Trump and several of his aides were secretly shuttled minutes later onto this airport catering truck, which was elevated and positioned at a door out of the view of the cameras. Now, the Post reports that the president was on that catering truck when it pulled away from Air Force One at 8:30 p.m., secretly bringing him to a smaller plane, an Air Force C-32A, making the Air Force One that everyone thought he was on a decoy that still had the reporters who thought the president had boarded that plane and who you see boarding right here on the right, and some White House staff aboard. The Washington Post reports, and I quote, "The maneuver meant that the president's actual location was concealed from the American public and many senior U.S. officials for hours." Air Force One then landed in the UK hours later.
The most significant piece here is that for weeks now, the American public is talking about the two Air Force One jets, the newer one from Qatar and the older one from the last couple decades of operations. And in reality, the president was on neither plane. This came to the Post in part because individuals thought that there was a hole in public understanding here that needed to be clarified. Not an easy story to confirm. I mean, it obviously took some time since that event to put this all together and put this together in a way that was convincing and confirmable and able to report it with your chest.
What's fantastic about this is anybody that takes reporting in any way, shape, or form serious and understands the role of the presidency and how important they are, regardless if you like them or not, understands that if they do something sneaky like this and they hide it from the public, there's a reason for it. And if I know they're doing it and then talk about it, I'm an enemy of the state as far as the government is concerned. I am literally giving away a secret that's meant to keep this man alive. Only because I want to make sure the public is aware that literally the president just diverted himself because there's a risk for his life. So I'm going to mention that and make sure that risk is solid. It's insane what is happening. It's absolutely insane. Good times, right? Mike Lindell, Donald Trump truth this. He deserves a big win in Minnesota today. So I guess today is the final day of the vote, or the day of the vote. Doubt it's the day. That seems impossible. It's such a blue state. I'm sure they vote for weeks and months. But nobody has worked harder and given up so much in fighting for free and fair elections. Very true. He spent all sorts of money, went into huge amounts of debt to try to get this information out. So go out now and vote for Mike Lindell for governor. He will not let you down. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump. Mike Lindell is awesome. He's no longer CEO of MyPillow, but he started an amazing company, I think 22 years ago, and it is still an amazing company, and we still have a great opportunity to help you guys get incredible best products, especially for nighttime, best products out there, and you are definitely going to be paying one of the best prices. You're going to get free shipping. It's incredible. This coupon code is MAGIC. MyPillow.com/OTF. Again, the original pillows. Looks like they've gone back up. Oh, that's the classic. There you go. $14.98 is the original. This is the box edge, I think they call it. And this was the knife's edge pillow. Both incredible pillows. The original stuffing, the best pillow you'll ever use. They start for the queens. This is the price they start at. The kings are, I don't know, usually about $5 more or something in that vicinity. They're significantly bigger too, by the way. If any of you are like wondering, how much bigger is a king? It's probably 2 of those pillows is probably a fair, pretty close to 2 side by side. They're huge. They're giant. They're awesome. In fact, if you got a queen size bed, and you just want to get 1 king size pillow, it probably works, especially if you sleep alone on it. It's going to suck if you ever invite anybody over. They're going to have to share your pillow. You'd be knocking heads all night. They've got the My Cross that Mike Lindell does. It's sterling silver. It's beautiful. They got a men and a woman's. They've got a white inner with a black outer, and they've got the silver outer with the black inner. Both very, very cool. The Giza sheets, the Dream sheets, are the best. That Giza cotton, high thread count, super deep pockets. So even if you have a topper, which I recommend, they've got them at $99.98 and free shipping. But you also got a sheet that can cover it. And they've got beautiful colors. $29.98 is literally the cheapest price you're ever going to see for those sheets. Normally they're $39.98 when they're on their sale price. This is $10 cheaper than normal. I highly recommend you take advantage of it. The 6-piece towel set, it's literally the best towel you will ever use. I don't see them doing the premium ones anymore, so it's the best towel you can get. The premium was actually nicer. But this towel is amazing. It actually dries. It is, like, on my shower door is my favorite place where I'll notice it. Like, I can't get right by the handle with the squeegee, so I usually just take my towel and one swipe, and the water's gone. It's not like my old towel where I'd do a swipe and it would kind of leave a little bit of smear, and then I'd have to flip it over and hit it with the other way, and then generally would get most of it. This, one swipe. It's what Bounty's supposed to be. I don't know if you guys have noticed, Bounty's not even that good anymore. This towel is. It's amazing. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. They've got blankets, they've got comforters, they've got duvets, they've got other things that I don't even know what the hell they are, but they're some form of blanket. They've also got the comforters, or what do I got? The down comforter. They got a 600 count and a 700 count. The 600 count's what I have. I literally use it year round. I love the thing. I love it. It is such an awesome comforter. And again, beautiful. And they've got a stronger one for you people that live in cold places. Best socks, any cotton things they make. They got like pajamas and stuff, or panjamas as they're sometimes known. Got great kitchen stuff. They've got cheap coffee. It's actually pretty good for the money. It's very good for the money. 50% off, you can't go wrong. So if you're going to get some stuff, get some free shipping, might as well throw a thing of coffee in there and try it out. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. It's mypillow.com/OTF. Yeah, it's one of the best towels out there. You guys are going to love every moment you use them. And the pillows. That's what I fell in love with the company for. It's awesome. Oman says oil spill from a grounded tanker near the coast has covered 400 square kilometers. This was one of the things I was kind of, super worried about. Now it seems that these worries are very founded. There will be more. And it looks like the deep state is literally trying to destroy this. Now, I'm going to say I do believe we're going to have some help cleaning up some of this mess after the effect, but it definitely does demonstrate the hatred that these individuals have towards humanity. All this does is it pollutes and ruins an entire Gulf and literally could end up killing off entire species of fish. And there's many people that probably used to fish these waters. This is horrific what's happening, and the deep state's just nasty evil. American Airlines plane makes an emergency landing after flames shot from its engine. They even made a mayday call. Apparently they took a bird strike, I'm assuming through the engine. That would make the most sense. But yeah, they had some fire coming out of the engine. Generally, that's not considered a good thing. That's usually what we don't want to happen. Thank you, Patrick Gotwait. I appreciate your Facebook post there. But yeah, unreal how this all plays out. They landed, everything was cool. President Trump was golfing, and he had, surface-to-air missile battery nearby. And there was expectation that this we could have some issues with some of the, I think the level 4 drones, they call them, basically larger-sized drones, and they were prepared for it. There's a lot of threats on Trump's life right now, big time. The deep state does not like him. These threats are coming out from Iran. Iran's so heavily fractured. They're not even barely holding on. They don't have the power they claim. This is the deep state. They still have some money they're playing with, but it's quickly running out. So yes, Trump is taking all precautions, especially being out in the public. And I'm sure his clone, his double, can't go out and golf like him. Trump is an outstanding golfer, and that is hard to be, by the way. You don't just train for a few weeks and suddenly you're a scratch golfer. No, it's not how it works at all. Rand Paul did finally follow up with his Fort Knox visit. He said, yes, the gold is there, all approximately 147 million ounces. It is impressive, but the real point is what it still teaches in 2026. In 1971, we severed the dollar from gold. Since then, the currency has lost roughly 85% of its value. This is why I keep talking about Goldco, guys. This is just since 71. We've lost 85% of our value. Prices are high because the money itself is weaker. A family making $50,000 with 2 kids that has not received a 25% raise in the last 5 years is falling behind. This is now often called affordability, but the accurate word is inflation. We run annual deficits of $2 trillion. The Federal Reserve buys about a third of that debt by creating new money. Every new dollar dilutes the value of the dollars already in people's pockets. Gold does not expand when Congress spends. Paper does. That is the difference. That is why precious metals will save you. I'm not doing the commercial now. I mean, DRSlikesgold.com. I'm going to talk about it later. This is why. Rand Paul's even saying it. Our currency's toast. It's just an issue of when and how bad it's got to get before. And I'm assuming they're going to probably try to crash it before the election. I think because Trump's going to handle it the way he does, I think it's actually going to work in our favor, but whatever, we'll see. Trump truthed this out. He says FIFA would be making a terrible mistake. That's the soccer organization, for those that don't know. They're going to be making a terrible mistake if, for any reason, they even considered replacing President Gianni Infantino. He is fantastic, having just presided over the most successful World Cup by 4 times ever presented. If he is gone, it will never be as successful or profitable again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. A judge, he's dismissed the DOJ lawsuit seeking a full, unredacted copy of DC's voter registration data. Just literally said, nope, sorry, and dropped it. And this is pretty fantastic. I still love the fact that they don't want to give private information when The private information came from the federal government to begin with. Any social security numbers you have, we gave you. Why don't you trust me with that number? You should. I gave it to you. I created it. I handed it to you. That makes me about as trustworthy as it gets, actually. So this argument makes zero sense. Now, I know why, because of course we're going to figure out all the people that don't belong on there. So anybody that doesn't willingly hand over their voter registration data, it's not because they're trying to protect anybody except themselves and their own ass. It has nothing to do with the data. They can give shit about the people. Now, it has everything to do with hiding the cheating. Now, all this does seem like the stuff that's properly building up the energy and temperature, if you will, for Trump to do something radical later on this year. And so that does seem to be a direction we're heading. Oops, I'm seeing a lot of stories come out. There was one other thing I wanted to mention on this. In December 2025, the DOJ sued D.C. and 30 states for declining to turn over the full requested information. 30 states. These are federal elections. A lot of this voter registration data is paid for by federal dollars. And then all of a sudden they're going to say, you can't see it. Again, we all know what they're doing. It's an issue of getting the normies to finally wake the hell up. At least 22 Dem AGs have agreed to coordinate takedowns of Trump. They've literally been working this before Trump came into office. 22 different Democratic attorney generals. There's literally budgets that are budgeting this stuff. There's one, New Jersey's legal battles with Trump are heating up. And Governor Murphy wants to spend $1 million to hire attorneys to resist the federal government in court. I mean, it's only $1 million, which, in all honesty, isn't very much. You can't do a lot with $1 million. I don't know what kind of crap attorneys you're planning on hiring, but $1 million ain't going to get you anywhere. That maybe should be like 10 times that. Or, well, probably way more than that even, frankly. Other state governments are doing this as well, right? So this has all been planned. It's the deep state war. We see who the deep state players are. We see who the deep state senators are. We see who the deep state House members are. We've actually cleared out a lot of them, by the way. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. We're going to be solid in the House, I think, big time. Senate, we'll see. So I already talked about that. Airlines obstruct ICE crackdown on same visa overstays that enabled 9/11 hackers. This is very strange to me. There's a series of tense airport standoffs. Gate agents and corporate executives at major carriers like Southwest Airlines have repeatedly blocked immigration and customs enforcement officers from accessing jet bridges, shielded passenger manifests, and demanded administrative hurdles to prevent federal agents from taking illegal visa overstayers into custody, according to these recent reports. If this is actually happening, and we've literally got airlines fighting the federal government, that's not going to go well. I just don't see. I mean, I get they don't have to necessarily just offer up stuff, but to shield and to keep them off of, frick, they should have control of the entire airport. I get that that's their terminal and they pay money for it. Get you. But you're renting it. You don't own it. Here we got President Trump just made clear to Leader John Thune the Senate has to get moving on the SAVE Act. This is just interesting how this whole thing's playing out. I've made my statement numerous times. I'm pretty sure most of you disagree with me. I'm going to continue to say it, though, unquestionably. I think this is all meant to show us who the problem is. Trump's actually finally really admitting it. That, I think, is what's key about this particular piece of audio. Check it out.
One thing is the Senate has to get going on Save America. I really believe that because people expect that to happen, and it has to happen. And you have a couple of Republicans who are voting for it, a few. You know, it's about an 89% issue with the overall population, including Democrats. Save America is voter ID with photo, by the way. You know, it's nice to have they're fighting on the photo. We don't want a photo. No, why don't they want? Because they want to cheat. You know, it's very simple. There's only one reason. But we want to have that. We want to have proof of citizenship. So it'd be nice to say, yes, I'm a citizen. Here's my citizenship, proof of citizenship. And ideally, but we're not even stressing this because that's only a 79% issue. That's not in the 90s. The mail-in ballots are so corrupt. You know that.
Right.
They're so corrupt. You saw it in
corrupt.
California a couple of weeks ago when Spencer Pratt had a very substantial lead. And the election kept going on and on, going on for weeks. It might still be going on, actually. But all of a sudden, you hear a report that the woman that nobody ever heard of is surging.
One of my favorite things about Trump, and I've been hearing this from a lot of people, and I would expect this at any situation if I ever was lucky enough to get to meet him. And by the way, I think it's good advice for any of you guys that do ever meet anybody of significance. Their time is precious, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of people that want to talk to them. Always understand that, please. That's just very, very important to know, because they can't spend, if you think about it, right? I've said this before, and this is just something I think a lot of people have a hard time kind of understanding. But a lot of people like this, you maybe send an email or something, right? And you're like, why doesn't he respond, right? I'm not saying this is necessarily with anybody out there right now with me. I'm pretty good about it for the most part, but I'm also not as big as I will become. But everybody's like, why didn't he respond? It only takes like a minute. But if you think about it, if you get 100 emails, that's 100 minutes. And that's I don't even think a fair assessment. You got to read it and think about it and respond, right? But if that's 100 minutes, that's almost 2 hours just on 100 emails, right? And that's only 100. So the numbers get kind of crazy. But Trump controls conversations. That's what he does. He does that when world leaders come visit him. They come planning to talk about certain things, and Trump's like, we got the golf course. We're building a new ballroom. Just takes control of the conversation, maybe brings up a couple points of business, and then sends them on their merry way. It's on purpose. He controls the conversation for a reason, and I like it. It's kind of cool that way. Here's Senator Kennedy talking about the Senate Republicans blocking this vote to advance the Save America Act. I like where his mind's at. He's at least out talking about it, so definitely a good thing. Check it out.
The SAVE Act. And this was not a vote, would not have been a vote to actually pass those things. It would have just been a vote to allow us to try. You can't blame this one on Senator Thune. We had a big meeting Friday night to talk about it. I think if a majority of the conference had wanted to go forward, Senator Thune was ready to do it, but a majority of the conference didn't. And I get that we were short a few votes, but I still believe we should have taken a couple of extra days. It would not have thrown the Earth out of orbit to try to talk to those folks who were reluctant to vote for it. I know them all, they're reasonable people, but we chose not to do that. And I know the party line is that we're going to do it when we get back, but I think our chances of getting it passed have gone down immeasurably. Look, well, all it would have taken was a majority vote. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's just disappointing.
Yeah, all it would take is a majority vote. Still, all it takes is for a quorum to show up and vote on it. A quorum requires 51 total people. 51 total people, not 51 Democrats, 51 Republicans, 51 total. That could be 30 Republicans and 21 Democrats, in which case they'd have no chance of voting no on it, and we'd get it passed. That's all it would take. And if it takes we wouldn't get a 60-person vote. And so, again, maybe... I've looked through the law, too, and we've shared it yesterday. I think it's doable. Is it likely? No. But if that's the case, then that's what we're supposed to see. There are no mistakes. There are no accidents. Everything presented to us is exactly as it should be. So the question is, why? What? How? Who? When? Where? The facts are presented. That is so, and as God planned. It's always to understand, what was his plan? Why did he unfold this? It looks weird right now. There must be something to this that I'm not seeing. And we're all experiencing that. And certainly most of us are many steps in front of most. Apparently, Abdul El Sayed makes a damning admission on national TV about his destructive healthcare path. I guess we'll hear this. I don't know why it needs to be said. First off, isn't he in Michigan? Like, come on. Do we care that much? No. We'll see. The Republican guy, I don't know, he's getting so much press. Yeah, whatever. The dude's, he says it. I don't need to play it. Fuck this guy. Former DNC fundraiser says Democrat donors are not going to fund another Kamala Harris for president campaign. This was actually worth playing. And it was, of course, with Laura Trump, and she just happens to be Asian. I mean,
Kamala Harris is living in fantasy land. To think that big donors would bet on her again. She's crazy. She should go enjoy her, I don't know, what is it, $8 million mansion on Malibu, despite the fact that she belongs to the party of climate change. She's literally living on the ocean. She should just go away because the American people do not want her agenda. They don't want the cackle hyena laugh either.
I barely even noticed that she was Asian. Like, I could hardly tell. I don't know. It wasn't. Have anything to do with that at all. Here is this is the Democratic Socialists of America. This is a guy that's like an ex. I don't know if he infiltrated them or what. And believe me, we've got people in there. But God, they're crazy people. Here's him giving a quick synopsis of some of that cray.
DSA itself makes a distinction, an important distinction, between paper members, who are people who give the organization their credit card and never come to a meeting, and cadre, who are hardcore activist members who show up to all the meetings and do all the work. The cadre are incredibly radical. The paper members might be, think AOC and Bernie Sanders are great and let's get Medicare for all. That is not the hardcore that's running the organization. It is not. They are extremists. They believe, many of them believe, that any means are justified to achieve their goal. They are explicitly revolutionaries. They want to pull down our government institutions, they want to pull down our economic order, and they really do believe this, that they can build something better in its place.
Yeah, destroying this country. Communism's wanted to destroy this country forever. I mean, when you go back to, the 50s, right? What are they, McCarthyism? Isn't that what they called it back then? Everyone was a commie. It's kind of funny if you think about it, because that really is when a lot of the infiltrations happen. In fact, I'm going to be interviewing Mel K tomorrow. She did a great book that really talks about this time frame. I'm actually enjoying the hell out of her book, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. You guys will cover the title and all that stuff. But very, very good book. Very easy to read. Very informative. Mel K is an excellent writer. Mel, you don't watch my show, I'm sure, but wow, good stuff. Good stuff for sure. Definitely, I'm looking forward to talking to her and getting her take on things. But this is exactly what they've been putting in place for a long time. They finally made the attack because, again, Trump turned the submarine towards them. They don't have nearly as much here as they were planning on, and they look at how successful they're being right now with just the few they have. If they could have gotten a little further with guaranteeing the vote, it was done. It was done. In fact, all these, let's put a bill on there. We're doing it in California. It's so stupid. Let's vote on whether or not you should have ID to vote. Well, we've already seen what happens when the mail-in votes continue to come in after the election day. Whatever we actually chose as people gets changed. We've seen it happen with tax increases. We went and saw medium ramen become top ramen, and Spencer Pratt, who is woefully way more popular, get knocked out of the race entirely. Now we've got medium ramen thinking about actually stepping out, so it's just going to be Karen Bass for the most part. This is all a ruse. Or ruse? I think that's proper. It's ridiculous, is what it is. Just trying to get people to accept the fact that the people they trust are lying to them. Like, again, Fauci's a great, well, you're just attacking Fauci. It's like, oh, wait, hang on a second. We've given Fauci's diaries, and he has his statements. The fact that they don't agree with each other, that's okay in your mind? Like, it's okay that he lied to us? Well, they had tough decisions to make. Yes, but he ended up lying and being wrong about everything. In fact, if we would have used ivermectin and some of the other technologies, far fewer people would have died. And he said he was the science and he wasn't following the science. And that's okay? It's just because we're attacking him that's bugging you, but it's like your guy lied to you and us, by the way. How did they wrap their heads around being pissed at us for this? for exposing the truth. I don't know how to talk to people anymore. At least the crazy progressives. Most people on the left would be like, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fucked up. Like they'll start to find that common ground with you way before. But you talk to a progressive on this, they think you're the devil. Ex-users, apparently, ex-user, I should say, End Wokeness, literally End Wokeness, just found this clip of Zohran Mamdani on an Arab podcast admitting that he fooled white liberals. I don't know if this is AI or anything. I don't think it is. I think this is legit, so whatever. I apologize if it's not, and I fell for it. I think it's good, though. I do like End Wokeness, but...
I think that with the interesting thing about our communities here is I think that minority communities, because we have never had representation, we are tied much more to identity. White communities, they've had representation forever. And so for them, their tie is a little less identity and a little more ideology. And so what I mean by that is we have a lot of voters here who think of themselves first as progressive voters. And so we reach out to them speaking about our platform, our progressive platform. And you're very right that you need someone in the middle to be a validator, someone to tell them to trust us, believe in us. We've had that with Tiffany Caban and Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah, it's all fakery. Yeah, this looks legit. His eyes don't change at all, and they actually go way longer than 13 seconds, which at the moment's about as long as you can go. That'll change in time, but yeah, that said. He's literally admitting that it's just, they've infiltrated the Democrat Party. Again, how else do you unite as many of us together as possible? You take the party that's the most fucked up and you infiltrate it with people that are even more fucked up and then kind of grab the ones that run out screaming. Michigan AG Dana Nessel refuses to attend the Democrat convention due to threats from radical anti-Semitic lefties. She literally, her own party is attacking her and threatening her because she's Jewish. So she doesn't feel safe to go. You see, the Democrat Party is going, the people that are Democrats that have realized that the communists and some of the most evil motherfuckers on the planet have taken their party hostage, are going to look to us for help. There's only about a third of the Democrats that are Democrat Socialists of America. Great. So 2/3 of Dems are coming our way. Get your arms out, get ready to hug, and get ready to do your best to have a little bit of patience as you try to deprogram somebody. That's what this is all about. This is why it's never going to happen again, because almost everybody is going to be on the same page. Confusion as NYPD denies City Hall claims that Mamdani's wife, Rama Duwaji, is going to be getting police escort. She's going to Syria and Lebanon. She's got family there, I get that. But this time of year and what's going on, needless to say, I guarantee you the CIA is going to be very heavily involved in that trip. You're going to be bugged beyond words. They're going to be like, it's like spit darts at you, the bugs. This guy, I'm going to love it. I'm just telling you, this is fantastic. Talking about the Democratic Socialist Party, the Democrat craziness that's going on. I think this guy's from Wisconsin. He's a cheesehead, I believe. Pretty cool guy. I like this guy. I think most of us would have a beer with this dude. I like him. Needless to say, I'll let you introduce yourself.
All I know is who I don't support.
Okay, tell us.
Viet Cong. Yeah, fucking communist piece of shit.
Okay, yeah.
No, I don't support the Democrat Socialists of America. Fuck them. If you think communism is so good, move to Havana, move to Pyongyang, or move to Caracas, Venezuela. I'll pay for your fucking airfare, but you got to renounce your American citizenship. You can't come back. I'll pay for that too. Okay. Get out of the country. These young people are fucking so full of shit. And so is your mayor in Chicago, Brendan Johnson. That piece of shit. These goddamn pieces of shit politicians. That's what I think.
So, sir, we just spoke to some young people.
They're full of shit, these kids today. They don't even know what communism is.
They said that you don't have to be worried about socialism.
Oh, no, okay, yeah. Look at the mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani. That guy. I mean, this country's going to shit, dude.
Yeah.
I got my good years in. I'm 67 years old, and I got my good years in. So.
Well, I mean, you look 50. I think
Yeah,
67. I know. So you work out all the time.
Of course,
Yeah.
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you look like me.
Yeah.
If the world doesn't destroy itself.
A lot of these young people, they haven't seen socialism, right?
They don't know what it
and
is.
I spoke to a young person who said, let's open the borders. What is your
No.
response to opening the borders?
Ridiculous. I'm all for legal immigration. Controlled legal immigration. We're opposed to, I'm a freedom and liberty guy. We're opposed to illegal immigration. Follow our laws and procedures. They're not that hard to follow.
They
They're
say
not.
no. They say no human is illegal.
Fine, but we have laws. That's what a country, borders, language, culture. You don't want to respect that? Go somewhere else. Go to Canada. How about that? Follow our laws and our procedures. They're not that hard to follow.
You've got real guts to really.
Yeah. So I tell it like it is. Want to hear the truth? That's the truth. Well, a lot of people are afraid to say it.
I'd choose to tell them to go fuck yourself. That's what I'd probably choose to do. But love him, right? Don't you want to have a beer with this guy? And again, that's more along my ideology as well. Like, I don't know. I just like being non-denominational when it comes to politics. I don't want to. I hate it. I feel like when you ascribe to a certain thing, then you gotta be that. Like, you can't appreciate other components. It's just my problem, guys. This is part of why I handle spirituality the way I do. Again, like it, don't like it. I try to be an open book, that's all. I don't want there to be surprises. Moment, large gang of masked thugs ransacked California store for the second time in the same day. Or within 24 hours. I think technically it was one calendar day forward, but within 24 hours attacked the same AutoZone in LA. And literally they're planning on reopening the store, which is phenomenal to me. LA is absolutely destroying itself. If this is the plan, and this is, again, it's like burning it from the inside, right? And it goes back to that, I don't know what the proper term is for it. I think they call it broken window syndrome, I think. For those who aren't familiar, it talks about if you got a neighborhood, right, that's kind of run down, and someone broke a window, threw a rock through it, whatever, and you just leave it. Now your neighborhood looks broken, and it invites more brokery. I made that word up, pretty sure. If you fix the window, it makes it look nice again, and it makes it less likely to be destroyed. This is what they're doing to LA. It's kind of what they're trying to do to the country. There's way too many of us that have grabbed the controls back from the retards, throwing elbows the whole way. We're doing this, guys. Don't get too hung up on there's an election, there's a specific day where whatever. So whatever happens in the election is what happens in the election. Hopefully it goes the way it should. We've actually had some pretty strong successes. We'll see what happens in Minnesota. We got to take it day by day. Something maybe is going to happen. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Might not need to. There might be enough of us, and we might have gotten enough people through the primaries that we needed to, and then we can tackle this legally, the way that, without doing crazy shit. Crazy shit invites problems. Martial law is not it's the easy way to go, but that's civil war. That is literally lights going out in your neighborhood, and when lights go out, people do weird shit. I don't care where you live. It's certainly going to be worse for people in the big cities. We don't want that. So we'll see. LA is just getting rocked, and maybe that's the point. I mean, that's where Hollywood is. Like, Hollywood's a mess. Hollywood's falling apart. Movie stars are moving out. They don't even want to live there anymore. Taxes are outrageous. And it burns, and they don't fix it. They don't do anything. They got missing fire hydrants because people are stealing them. The city's as broke gets. It's Brokeback Mountain. So Smartmatic election malware is likely in all of our U.S. systems. It's really what this is coming to, this big, long article. The way this company bought the next company bought the next company. This is what is alleged in this article. the Sequoia voting systems in 2005. It was an acquisition that was found to be a threat to national security interests in 2006. In 2007, Smartmatic was forced to divest from Sequoia to its U.S. management team, and in 2010, Dominion acquired Sequoia. You see how that worked? But there's no evidence that any U.S. intelligence agency ever evaluated whether or not Smartmatic election manipulation malware was propagated into Sequoia and Dominion systems after the acquisition. Now, for any of you guys that just heard "duh" in your head, congratulations. You were much further along than most. Of course it did. These systems have always been intended to do what they're meant to do. What this was meant to do is divest or diverge from the original, what do they call it? Path, I guess, and go into a different forked path so it would get lost in the weeds. Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president, and they pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could. Literally, China is paying to mess with our elections. I want to point out a couple people when it comes to this concept. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. You could like it, don't like it, whatever the case is, here's what's up. Some people care about the money more than anything else. Anthony Fauci's successor, NIH Director Jay Bhattacharya, he's not happy with Fauci. We're going to play his words rather than me doing it.
The new text released from Dr. Fauci's phone seems to be a different message privately than what he was telling publicly about the vaccine and pregnant women.
I mean, I'm really glad that his words now can be heard by the American people. And I share your concern. I think that when you have a new product like the COVID vaccine was back then, you should be careful with pregnant women. And it's shocking to me that that he was sharing private thoughts, and that when he was out on public, and he was out in public a lot, he didn't share those private thoughts with the American public. I mean, to me, the big problem now is really how do you restore trust in public health? How do you restore trust in science? And, that's what I've been working toward at the NIH, to really shift toward a transparent regime where there's scientific debate, scientific discussion, no debates off limits. I fully expect there to be people that disagree with me. And when I learn that I'm wrong, I'm going to tell the American public that I'm wrong. We have to turn the page from that.
And you have the job that he once had. That puts pregnant women in a really bad position. You're withholding information from them, giving them a recommendation that could potentially harm their baby. I don't know the process when you're the director of something like the NIH, but if you have reservations, shouldn't the public know those reservations?
I mean, especially for something like the COVID shots, which were brand new back then. I mean, and Tony Fauci was a major figure in trying to get those COVID shots off, past the finish line. He owed the American public some transparency regarding his honest thoughts. Generally, it's the FDA that regulates products and checks for side effects and so on. The NIH develops the science that produces the new vaccines. There's usually like one lane and another lane. Tony Fauci, in some sense, was out of his lane. Push and then use that power to tell American one thing when he really thought another.
And this is the problem that we have with our other side of this, right? We actually have to explain to them how this is not us attacking them, but us literally showing them the truth. And they're so hell-bent, one, on hating Trump, but two, that we're conspiracy theories largely, and I'm going to admit this to all of them, I'll say it too, in some cases, I tone it down way more than most. As many of you guys come at people with just the fucking hard shit. Yeah, we got the A-chrome and they're doing this to kids. And fuck, man, really? You're going to go there? Like, you could have started with all sorts of different shit. So that's one thing where a lot of us have that label. We got to wear it. Conspiracy theories. So just anything we fucking say, if it's true, it just drives them insane. And they resist it completely. Not really our problem, technically. That's part of their problem. But I told you so's are going to be few and far between in the big picture. I have told you guys many times, don't expect those. Senator Bill Cassidy is melting down over Trump's vaccine overhaul. Doesn't like what Trump has done with this drop in the number of vaccines. Well, did I announce this yesterday? This is pretty incredible what they're doing, by the way. Let's see.
Effective immediately, my administration is recognizing gold standard childhood vaccine recommendations for only 11 core vaccinations against the most serious and dangerous diseases, along with the MMR, which hopefully will be split up. You have the MMR. We want it in 3 separate vaccinations, given at separate times. Together, there could be a possibility they're quite lethal, and separately, it looks like they are not at all lethal, but just very effective. So the MMR, we want to have separate visits, separate times. The vaccine being broken into 3 separate single doses, and vaccines being administered in separate visits.
Dude, if he says separate one more time, I'm going to punch my own self. What is up with that? Separate. Be separate from separate. Separate yourself from separate. That was almost weird. Are we supposed to look up separate or something? I mean, it's the core of breaking up the M and the R, which is cool. What do you think he's telling us something on that? Separate. I don't want to play that again. My God. No, don't do this to me. I wish they had the quote in there. Separate visits, separate times, separate. What is that? What is he saying? Is that a Q thing? Should I look up? Let's do it now. What the hell? Look it up. Let's see. Separate. Desperate. So I try to figure it out. All right. When course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the power of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature of gods entitled them. What is this? In decent respect to the opinion mankind. Who wrote this? What is this? Oh shit! This is the beginning. That's what I thought. I was like, oh my God, this is like the beginning of the Declaration of Independence, right? This is fantastic. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by the Creator and the create certain unalienable rights. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there is separation right here, separate here. So isn't that interesting? All right. And a splinter cell can separate. What's this one? All right, maybe not all good, but what the hell? Sometimes you just got to do it. Just go for it, right? There's a bunch of separate shit. China, Qatar, Cruz, Ted Cruz, I think. Think about the separated both maps. I'm not sure what that one is. Probably ties to the post near it. Anyway, guys, okay, sorry I did this. I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here that's good. Plus, separate. That's interesting with the triple brackets. Robert Mueller's purview, plus. Huh. There's so much, right? I feel like that he's definitely pushing something for us, you know what I mean? I think this is the end of it, at least. What do we got? Borders do not separate us, yada, yada. Yeah, because we're coming together. 2/3 of the Democrat Party's coming our way, guys. Coming our way. Pendulum. They're swinging. Like a wrecking ball, maybe even. That song. How many Michigan generals were on the White House list to attend a separate meeting? That's kind of an interesting one, too. We'll see, guys. Sorry, I spent a lot more time on that than I thought I would. That popped into my head. Apologize. Issue of whether Paul can get Fauci contempt referral to DOJ centers on nexus of Hill rules. Fed law. Yeah, going after Fauci this way is, I think, tough. I think I think they took this out of the Trump playbook. Get them pissed. Like, you're going after Fauci, no question about it. Rand Paul's like, fuck yeah, I want to punch that guy in the nuts. For sure, who doesn't? I mean, if you can get down that low, because you got to stretch or something. That guy's he's like a munchkin, right? He's a little person. I don't know what you're supposed to call him. He's a midget? No, that's probably not okay. Yeah, whatever he is. Get me off track, Fauci, you bastard. Just because you look like an Oompa Loompa doesn't mean I should get off track. Issues on whether Paul can do this. He's not. What this is meant to do is get everybody talking about it. You can't go after Fauci. He's so hysterical. They're going after him political. It's such a stupid thing. And then they're going to come in with the actual left or a right or a hook or whatever. I don't know. Take term however you want. They're going to come in from the side and hit him with some legit shit. And I even think the state stuff is probably meant to dissuade and bug and grind him down so he's busy and getting what he deserves, frankly. And I think when they finally open up the money he gets, and this is locked up, this is very classified information. The amount of money that these scientists get for being on the intellectual property rights, the vaccine companies, if Fauci is shown to have made any personal money per vaccine, per shot, can you imagine what that's going to look like? That he literally was making money while he was telling people to do something that was demonstrated that it affect pregnant women in the first trimester, was causing pre-birth or whatever, right? It was causing all sorts of issues. We were getting SIDS. Well, that was earlier when we were younger. But it was causing all sorts of problems, heart attacks, weird stuff. But he kept pushing it. It's what happened back in the 80s with AIDS and him and remdesivir. Yes, remdesivir, the same remdesivir. And it did the same thing then that it did when COVID came around. It's what took out my good dear friend Kirsten. They killed her. They killed a few good people out there. So yes, Fauci's in big trouble. This is kind of fun. I love it. And sports stuff a little. Cam Newton, I'm not a big Patriots fan, but he was an excellent player. He is freaking crazy wild now, it seems like. I love it. Go Bruno. But yeah, all said, he's talking about Aaron Rodgers. We got a couple little posters sports-wise. I don't know. It's football's starting soon. I'm excited about it.
If we're being honest, going back to 2020, there were multiple players, coaches, and executives that fraudulently got their COVID shot. Yes, I said it. You're like, Cam, what do you know? It's like, man, I knew multiple people in that locker room didn't get the COVID shot. Mm-hmm. But they got a card that they paid for.
They got that card.
But you talking about, boy, nurses was making big bank. But them cards and that little... Man, folks was trying to get in the cut. Hey, man, you got your vaccination card? Man, yeah, I got it. LAPD.
Exactly.
Right there.
All right.
Man, folks didn't know what these cards was. Let me see, though.
That ain't on that. Don't worry about it.
They're not there. I mean, look at who's calling stuff out. These guys, watch what happens, first off, if they survive this. It all comes down to advertising, too. And that's the big thing. The advertising dollars. The people that will not talk, Fox News will not talk about this. They can't. They're locked down by advertising dollars. They are. They show advertising for drugs. You watch Fox for 4 seconds and you'll figure that out. They're not going to report poorly about things that advertise on their channel. And it happens all over the place. This is how they buy influence. One of the ways they get people in our neck of the woods, agencies, big time, because agencies will do much the same, or you'll start making money with certain advertisers, and then they can actually come at you and say, yeah, so some of our advertisers don't like it when you talk about this. Could you stop doing that? What are you going to do? Because you either lose that entire revenue stream and go with what they say, or, well, lose the revenue stream and, not do what they say, or do what they say. Most people, you get stuck in it. When you don't see it coming and don't plan for it accordingly, like Trump is doing for this country, you will get fucked. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I love Aaron Rodgers. Talk about certain people just good enough at what they do. That this dude's even playing one more year. I love this. I love this dude. Again, I actually like watching him play. I know he's 100 years old, but still, he's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you've had quite a run today. If you would like to say anything about it.
No, we can go back to Fauci. Finish where we started.
Okay, on that note, you have a lot of teammates that are vaccinated. That's good heading into the season.
A lot of people had probably fake vac cards back in the day, too.
Not me.
They didn't have a problem with that. I mean, I remember seeing some of the vax cards. I'm like, it was like written in crayon. I'm like, all right, so we're going to pass that off, but we're going to be second-rate citizens over here. I got to wear a yellow armband, train in the back. Can't be around more than 3 people. Oh, you know, you got to wear a mask when you do your interview, and all of us are going to be masked up the entire time back here. We're 20 feet away from you because that's safety first. What a crock of shit we had to go through.
Crazy time. What a time.
Unbelievable. And we survived it.
Yes, we all did.
We survived it.
I mean, you've had quite a run today. If you would like.
That's the impressive part, guys. That was, you know, it's hard to say. Hardest? That might have been the hardest part. I don't know. I still feel like there's this weird thing in front of us. I don't know if it's going to be harder. I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be hardest in a weird way. Like, I think it's going to be more, I don't know. We'll see. It's starting to take shape. I feel like it's getting closer, but I don't know. We're not quite there yet. Whatever it is. We'll figure it out when we get there. My spider senses should be tingling like a mofo when we start getting near. Fauci phone revelations. So a lot of information's coming out. Text messages being shown. Discussions he was having with Vivek Murthy. Concerns about the mRNA shot. He had one here from Dr. Murthy to Mr. Fauci. This is really helpful. Thanks. I've been hearing the concern about the mRNA causing mutations in the developing fetus as well. That's a really good point. Hang on, let me say that last line again, just in case you didn't hear it. Concern about the mRNA causing mutations in the developing fetus as well. That's a really good point regarding the cytokine storm post-second dose. From Dr. Murthy to Dr. Fauci, Tony, Rochelle, did you see this announcement today from WHO saying they advise against pregnant women taking the Moderna vaccine because of lack of data? It has led to a flurry of questions. What is your take? I imagine we will get asked about this. Brilliant. Yes, maybe. And of course, our press was horrible. Then we got what Dr. Fauci is from him to, I don't know who. Maybe it's a chat message thing. He said, I would say that in any vaccine in which data are lacking in pregnant women, one must weigh the potential risk against the benefits. COVID-19 can be a serious disease, especially in pregnancy. In the vaccine trials, pregnant women were not allowed, but following the EUA, the Emergency Use Authorization, a large number, more than 10,000 pregnant women have been vaccinated. No issues have arisen. The FDA and the ACIP and the ACOG are all permissive for pregnant women to have choice. And animal tox studies did not raise any red flags. First off, a whole bunch of the animals, supposedly, a whole bunch of the animals that were tested, like almost all of them, died from this. So anyway, yeah, and then knowing that there's literally mutations happening in the fetus, I actually wonder if that's the point. If that was to get some, like if you got the shot while pregnant, yeah, I'd be very curious about those children. Very curious about those children. Very curious about those children. Not trying to say anything bad. I think they're probably going to be different. Dr. Murthy to Fauci, that's my sense was as well, Tony, which is why I was surprised to see WHO put out a strong, like saying that they don't recommend Moderna in pregnant women. That's a strong statement to make and potentially quite damaging to public confidence among pregnant women. Again, it's all about pushing. I want them to get the information out that Fauci made money off the vaxes. Like he literally was getting either, I want to say money per, like I want to say he was somehow like he was getting a percentage of gross sales or something. It's gonna come out. Trump State Department has revoked over 175,000 migrant visas. Pretty freaking sweet that's happening. We got Todd Blanche being sworn in here. Check it out.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help me God. So help me God.
Super cool. Super cool. Yes. We have Todd Blanche in, which is, I think, outstanding. Here's him showing up at the where's he work? The Justice Department. Admittedly, it is kind of lame, but whatever. All right, yada yada yada. Right, he goes walking through. Yay! All right, everybody loves me. And again, I love Todd Blanche. I'm not trying to besmirch. I'm just running out of time. Frankly. Nithya Raman, she's out as homelessness chair. They literally, Karen Bass and someone else got rid of her. So Medium Raman has been kicked out of the homeless job she had because she's doing such a poor job. And Karen Bass is running on how she's helped homelessness. And she just fired the homelessness person that was in charge of the homelessness group that was under her. oh my God. LA's elections are going to be, well, entertaining. There's a judge, he just blocked Mom Donnie's pied-à-terre wealth tax. He just blocked it. He's like, yeah, no, this can't go into effect. This might not be legal. So it was riddled with errors. Let's see, what do they say? This says the city has published a list of properties subject to the tax, but homeowners argued that the rollout was riddled with errors, causing mass confusion. Notices were sent to some homeowners incorrectly, and others were threatened that they would face the tax unless they filed for exemptions. The lawsuit claims the city disregarded state data in its assessment. The city must now remove the online list of targeted homes as part of the court's ruling. So the rich people, hey, I'm good. Sometimes it's helpful that they're helping us all in the big picture. But yeah, they disagree with the ruling. Zoran Mom Donnie's bummed. He's taking a big L. Good job, because you are a loser. Middle school teacher. Again, this is everybody. They're going to do this and that. Man, there's still laws. We just have to fight for them. Middle school teacher is the first to be arrested under a new grooming law, and she's a married new mom. Like, that's supposed to matter. It's kind of my favorite part about this article is they just make a big deal. She's newly married. She's got a new baby. Well, she shouldn't have been grooming a child. So, cool. Go to jail. I mean, I know it's kind of a pretty harsh law, but man, I mean, you're a teacher. You shouldn't. I'm not okay with grooming kids at all. So, yeah, fuck you. Go to jail. I don't give a shit if you're brand new. I don't know. Brand new Purple Star receiver. I don't give a shit. You're grooming kids. Off to the clink. Thanks. Thanks for what you did for us in the country. I appreciate that. But don't let the bars hit you in the ass. They hurt like a mofo. Gun Owners of America lawsuit strikes down parts of the National Firearms Act. Just gets into the fact that once the tax went down to zero, the government was initially basically, or the National Firearm, or whatever the government group, not the EPA, whatever the one is. The tobacco firearms, those fuckers. Yeah, anyway. They're basically like, yeah, so it's a zero tax, but basically what it is we're collecting a tax that we're not asking them to pay. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like, if you're taking $0, you're not getting a tax. But we still want to call it a tax, because if we call it a tax, then we can charge these fees. And the judge is like, yeah, no, you're not taking a tax. You don't get to charge the fees. And so that's kind of where it's sitting. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. It's going to work out to a lot of different things. Rep. Lauren Boeber's son is in a lot of trouble. He's done a lot of bad things. He's got some felony charges big time against him. He's in big trouble. This dude's going to definitely be going to jail. And Lauren Boeber's been, I'll be honest, she's like, look, I love my son. I feel very bad for any of the victims that have been involved in this. And she even says at one point, too, she's like, if my son is guilty of these things, then he should get the same treatment as any other person. I think, by the way, that's amazing. So good on her. That actually caused me to like Boeber a lot more. I'm pretty sure I saw her once, like 4 feet from me. I've always joked. I'm like, come on, give me a call. And it's like, I feel like she just walked right by me and I ignored the chance. I'm like, I could have been like, Lauren. And she'd be like, yeah, you want to get out of this place? You know, could have said something crazy like that. Who knows? I would have said yes. These things happen. Good thing I'm not on camera. Damn, they could still hear you. Shit. Anyway, He did child exploitation, sexual exploitation of a child with intent to deal in or sell or distribute sexually exploitive material. Like he was doing some really fucked up shit. Really fucked up shit. $10,000 bond, which surprises me. And he's Colorado too. So maybe that's the problem. Colorado's like, we love this guy. This guy is great. He is fantastic. He is everything we are looking for. We're trying to get him into childcare. Broadway legend Andrew Lloyd Webber decries unsustainable cost of productions because everything's gone woke and they went broke. They put out a new Cats, I guess the Jellicle Ball, and I don't know if it's gay or not or whatever, if they gayed it up. But he did like Phantom of the Opera, he did Cats, he did what else? He did some other really cool shit. Evita, which I was in. Phantom, which great. I saw Phantom live. That was amazing, amazing, amazing play. Sunset Boulevard, never seen. Jesus Christ Superstar, I've seen the movie, and I do like the soundtrack. It is offensive to some, though. All said. He's pretty big in the business, and you go woke, you go broke. U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve has fallen below 300 million operational limit as the oil drain unexpectedly surges to 6.1 million barrels. We're using a lot of this stuff, and we finally got under 300 million barrels, and that hasn't happened for a long time, since 83. Now, we are creating or getting or producing, I'm not sure what type of oil we plan on putting there. I think right now Trump's more interested in selling it because we need the money, and I think there's plenty of oil from his standpoint, so but I don't know why we're still draining it. Maybe there's a good reason for that. Trying to get the old nasty shit out of there and get some good fresh goo in there, or who knows? Who knows what's going on? We're going to find out. NVIDIA confirms record $500 billion off-balance sheet loan, basically. This is pretty crazy. $500 billion. This is for AI. That is a huge amount of money. If that's actually true in some weird way, we are talking about the multi-trillion-dollar world coming up. And again, these are people that are getting debt on the books. This is people maxing up the credit card right before you go bankrupt, right? I think some of these people know what's up, and I think Trump's been like, dude, rack it up. Get it going. Let's break this thing. We're going to break. And they're going to do it going in like the opposite way, like the wrong way, and it's going to literally break. It's what's so cool about it. So silver, I guess, is down a little. We'll see. But that's cool. It is what it is. I don't know what stocks are. It always takes it a bit. I just fucking refresh it. It'll help a little. Yeah, stocks are down a little today. Oil's up a little. Yeah, silver's down, which is cool. Cryptos, man. Oh shit, Bitcoin dropped down about 63.3. Wow, that was a bummer. XRP 101. Yes. Woo. Love it. Are we going to get under $1? I want to see it happen. All these people that are like, you get XRP, Fucking A. Every one of you fucks. All y'all. I love it. I knew it all along, but I wasn't like, in case I was wrong, I bought some. No biggie. It's all good. Maybe it'll go to a trillion, infinity, bazillion soon. Maybe. Dude, if you got a 401k or IRA, I kind of already plugged it with the Rand Paul thing. You're losing value every day. Gold locks in the value. It's buying power is what it is. And you're going to get as much of that buying power locked in right now. And then as inflation continues, you'll see the price of your asset continue to go up. You're not going to make money on gold. Gold is the same. 1915, this piece of gold would buy me a handmade tailored suit. Today, this piece of gold would buy me a handmade tailored suit. Back then, that was $30. Today, $30 doesn't buy you shit. That's buying power. This, protection. Buying power, protection. Protect your wealth. You've spent all these years putting it together. Protect it. My good friends at Goldco will help you do that. And really, you've got a gold and silver kit. Learn about it. Get your four data points in there and get your kit. They're going to get you up to 10% free silver. So again, that's a pretty solid deal. $100,000 you move over and protect the buying power of $100,000. Whatever that is today, that's what you're locking in. And you're gonna get the, you're gonna have the up 10,000 in free silver. Sorry, I was trying to figure out where the hell I was talking about. Also, if you go kind of big, you go big time big, they got this cool solar generator too. They're gonna throw in on top of that with everything else. You're getting also the 10%, by the way. So you hit the 500,000 and you're getting 50 grand of free silver. You're also going to get this sweet-ass solar generator. This thing's incredible. It's just awesome, too, just for what they're good for. I mean, if you have an issue, you just go out and put a thing, and you can charge your computer, you can charge your phones, you can do a lot of things. You can charge your little backup batteries. These things are incredible. They're very, very cool. And they hold quite a charge, believe it or not. So once you get it charged up, too, especially, you're happy. And I do think they'll take an AC charge as well. You don't have to use the solar, but you can if you need to. Go to drslikesgold.com. 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 Get out of that system. Let my good friends help you do that. They are the best at it. Multiple suppliers, and they will take care of you. Super long today. President Trump unveils gold standard vaccine guidance. We were talking about this kind of earlier. Went from 72 shots to 11. Anyway, that's pretty sweet. Anyways, all official and all that good stuff, right? So Trump says spacing out the childhood vaccines could have a huge impact on autism. I think that's where he said separate like super thousands of times. Senator Ron Johnson confirms that the COVID vaccine data pushed by Fauci claimed a 12.6% miscarriage rate among pregnant women who took the jab, but raw data revealed 82% for women vaccinated in the first trimester. 82% of women, the VAERS data says. Almost like Fauci lied. Tony Fauci tried to scare the crapola out of people. Here's them talking about it. Oh, I don't know if we need to play this. Oh, yeah, he did. We don't need to play this. But yeah, he was trying to say that pregnant women by saying there would be serious consequences if they do not get vaccinated against COVID-19, reiterating the vaccines were completely safe. A few short months before this, Tony acknowledged in text messages that the vaccines were linked to miscarriages. I guess to a degree, instead of getting turned into cyborgs or some weird shit, maybe it was better that they did miscarry. Maybe God brought his children back, maybe to try again. Maybe. RFK Jr. moves to close a loophole letting unapproved chemicals into food supply. So they're trying to get around the way they used to approve stuff and allow food companies to approve stuff and then kind of have it out for a while before they actually had to worry about asking about it. Anyway, they're closing things down. They're not necessarily taking it away yet. They're being very fair to the food companies and giving them time to replace what they're asking them to do. Again, like I think, was it Kellogg's? I think Kellogg's came out and said they were going to have artificial dyes out of their food by the end of this year or something cool like that. I mean, again, it's awesome. I love it. I'm kind of waiting to report on it more once it's happened, finally. I find that to be far cooler than, they're supposedly going to way off in the eventually day. Iranian regime hangs 24-year-old woman who fought back against sexual assault, forced into child marriage at 17, and was executed for defending herself. Just another example of why the Iranian regime is certainly the right people to back. That's for sure. Trump rejects Iran's 6-point ultimatum, says he's now demanding compensation in all future negotiations. Yeah, he's asking for the same thing. And for anybody that didn't understand, I was being sarcastic in that you're voting for the right side with Iran. I feel like there may be some people that come from other countries, and I don't find they enjoy sarcasm or understand it. It makes no sense. They sort of just take the words at what they are. Here's Trump talking about, what is this? Flip the script on Iran. Yeah, I like this. I love the fact that he turned it on them, too. They're like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, they asked for reparations, you might say, or they asked for money for the damage that we've done. I said, that's a good idea. Well, we're going to ask for money for the damage they've done over a 50-year period. Whether you go SS Cole or whether you go all of the people that were so badly hurt, so badly wounded or killed, many thousands of people, and maybe damages for the 52,000 protesters over the last 4 months that were killed in Iran. We think their family should get damages for killing their person or their child or mother, father that were protesting. It's at least, it was 52,000 a month and a half ago. So now what is it? So if there's damages to be paid, I think Iran should pay those damages.
Mr. President,
well, they asked.
Yeah, Iran should pay for those damages. So again, Trump's just turning the script on them. And it's just like, well, they're making these demands, and Trump's just like, yeah, no, thanks. Now what? Okay, we can go back to bombing you? Is that cool? All right, sweet. Thank you. Appreciate. Thanks for playing. Thank you for your attention to this matter, as they would say. Here's some more of Trump talking about the Gay of Hormuz. I wish he'd call it that, but I know it's inappropriate.
The only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the strait to go to Iran. But it's open for others. Now, a little bit complex because they will, on occasion, drop a mine, and we find the mines. You know, we've mine swept the entire strait, as you probably maybe heard, maybe you didn't hear. But we control the strait 100%. Now, can they make trouble? Yeah, they can make trouble. But they're broke. They have no money. You know, Iran is broke, totally broke. And they're not paying their soldiers. They have inflation of 300% as of last night. I heard 309%. So we'll see what happens. But they've been bad for, they say 47, it's actually 50 now. You know, 47, they've been saying it for 3 years. But for 50 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East. What they've done is terrible. They've killed hundreds of thousands of people. They've killed people. They've wounded and maimed people with the legs, the arms. You know, with the roadside bomb is their bomb. They're very proud of it. And now they're paying a price. Thank you very much, everybody.
Get the fuck out of here, basically. I mean, that's what he's saying. I mean, I don't know if you heard it. That's what I heard. After mass migration invasion, 5 girls under 14 reportedly raped in Ceuta. Health sources have confirmed that Ceuta University Hospital has treated at least 5 girls over the past week. Morocco Justice Minister, he's demanding the return of all unaccompanied Moroccan migrant children. Well, bro, like, why'd you let them leave to begin with? Second off, what's weird is how Spain is actually forcing them inland. They're immediately trafficking the children inward. Immediately. They're fast-tracked. Why? They're shouldn't be there. You should, like, these guys are like, no, give them back. And they're like, nope, we've already got buyers. I mean, we're already hungry. Well, yeah. Maloney and Fredrickson. Maloney, obviously from Italy. Hopefully you guys know that. I am impressed with her. It very much seems like since Trump kind of backhanded her, I don't mean that he didn't do it like that. He embarrassed her. Better way to say it. Certainly, he should never be violent on women, ever. He should definitely put her into a situation where she seems to be standing up against the deep state a little more. I've seen her do a number of things now. It's like the version of her I remember back before somebody got to her and freaked her out or whatever. And then I don't know about this other Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen. She's that is a big woman. I mean, I know Melani's small, so she's maybe just Italian. The other chick's just like regular human size. Whatever. They're standing up against it. They're fighting for the Christian heritage. They realize what's actually happening there, being infiltrated. A retired Syrian general who fought ISIS. He disappeared inside an embassy in Beirut. He just disappeared. He went inside. His driver was waiting for him to come back out. He had to mail something or do something weird. Had to get some paperwork done or something. Not mail something, but get some paperwork done or something. Never came back. Ever. Nobody knows what happened to him. So this is interesting that this kind of stuff is happening. Somebody got him. We also have another case. Israel's silent as Moscow seeks answers over missing historian. This is going to hurt. Artyom Kirpichenok, outspoken Israel critic, and he's been missing since landing at Ben Gurion Airport last week. He's a Russian-Israeli dual citizen, and he went missing immediately once he ended up there. He literally checked in with his family, and that was the last thing that happened. Boom. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Israelis are the ones that put it in. They're like, yep, I'm here, everything's cool. And he'd said, type what you would normally, or I'm going to kill you right now. And then they'd turn the phone off because it lost connection. So we're hearing this too. Syrian court just sentenced former President Bashar al-Assad to death after a trial in absentia convicting him of crimes including killing, torture, and arbitrary arrest. I think that means he's not there, right? Which is really cool to say, yeah, we'll kill you if I ever see you again. Right now, I do not. Anyway, they've convicted him to death. If they ever find him, which might happen, we'll see what happens. Now, Bashar al-Assad's brother, or whatever, Major General Mahar al-Assad, hurts so much to say, a former commander of the 4th Armored Division, he's been sentenced to death in absentia as well. So lots of people dying to get out of that place. IRGC quote on the nuclear weapons that was used all over the place. It's just basically saying we'll denuclearize once you guys do. It was a bullshit quote. It came from an Indian guy. Content creator for that matter, and Netanyahu quoted it, and it's just stupid. So again, this Indian guy, this was just bullshit information. This is how they do it, and then they propagate hate. It's the same thing as the Southern Poverty Law Center. Netanyahu was doing the same thing. Probably, maybe unintentionally, maybe not. Maybe it was given to him by his Mossad. Who knows who his handler was, but same thing. It's happening. What was this? Why did I do this? What is this? Oh, yeah, just ask gamers. I don't have time for this. Stupid. It's kind of cool, but it's not. K-pop influencer Mina Chan, dead at 26. Very sad. She accidentally tried to meet somebody. Anyway, she's hot. But she killed herself. It's so sad. She tried to, a band that she'd interviewed multiple times, and like she kind of ran up and was like, thought she got special privilege, and the fans heckled her for it hard. And then she apologized for it like many, many, many times in a very Japanese kind of way, and ultimately ended up killing herself, which I just think the story there is the public can be fucking mean, man. It is really a fun experience. So prepare yourself. Any of you guys that want to go big and be popular, just understand it's one thing when everyone loves you. It's another thing when not everybody loves you. And the people that don't, won't be that many. It'll always be more of the others, but the ones that don't, man, oh man. Passenger died midair on an LAX-bound flight identified as a 22-year-old because, they die all the time just from stuff that happens in the middle of flight. He could have been a drug overdose in some weird way. Who knows? Rain McMillan is his name. If his first name's Rain, that tells me a few things, but it's unfortunate. Well, I'm not sure what happened, and it's very sad, of course, and prayers to the family, and no one should die unnecessarily. But Dallas and Los Angeles flight, there you go. You got some Dallas poo on them. Chinese launched, so they launched their new rocket, and it exploded about 90 seconds, and a little like 80 seconds into flight, and big kind of big piece of poo on their face, right? They recently caught a rocket like Elon Musk because they're borrowing and stealing technology, but like I've said many times, it's one thing to be able to build something, it's another to truly know how to use something. And they don't. And they also don't build to very good standards, by the way. Anywho, this is a couple angles I want to show up because it made me think some other funny thought that I wanted to share with you guys. Let's see if I can...
天上去了，宝宝。哇，它上天了，到太空去了。看到了吗，远？哇，人。 那个废弃的，哇，飘了，不是
摊上了那个。Now I'm going to say that one lady's voice was kind of annoying to me. If I had to listen to that every day, I'd probably punch myself in the face too. I mean, I'm just a couple angles. But here's another one, and this one, I don't know. This one kind of tripped me out a little bit. So what I see is something glowing, which it's glowing spherically, which almost has a energy weapon kind of a feel to it. It's crazy, I know, crazy. Almost like there was something on this. There was a satellite on this thing. They lost it. There was something on this that we weren't about to let them put in space. And China now knows we can do this at will. I'm probably crazy. Feel bad for all the people that don't actually watch the show all the way through. They miss that. They're not going to see it. You should probably tell them to clip it and go, dude, go to this. This part's the best part. Shit. Let's see. Yeah, I already talked about that. So, yeah, we're good. We're good. Guys, I love you. Long show. I apologize, but I don't know what it is. This is fun as hell. And I feel like I just found my place recently. It's very strange. We're going to talk more about it. There's so many things that have been happening in my life that are interesting and of note, but are still playing out. And I'm, frankly, along for the ride. Well, I've manifested it, but the way it transitions is always interesting. It's the fun part. That said, we've got a lot going on this week. I've got a good hot topics going on today. I would try to plug it, but I've still got to wrap my mind around. I pulled some stuff that got a thought process I had going earlier, but I don't know what the hell it is at the moment. Another one's going to be coming up on Thursday. Once again, no idea what the shit's going to be. It's usually just something that's going on, that's bugging me, that certain kind of concept that I see, a theme. I'm going to just kind of talk about that. I add some of my stupid spiritual crap in there and hopefully give you guys a wealth of information that's going to help you guide yourself, but certainly most importantly, others through these changing times. And I love you guys for that. And then, of course, music show Friday. Doing Rolling Stones. I still got to edit it. I didn't do that yesterday because I was fucking with my printer, which I'm this close to having a solution, I think. I got the parts, but I just have to spend the time. Anyway, life is good. We're going to get through this, guys. Be strong. Do your stuff. You'll be taken care of and protected as always, and we will get through this together. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.